Hi guys, my name is Nick. I've been living in Algarve for 21 years now and I love it. And I just want to try and show you a little bit about what it's like to live here, what real life's like here. So now part of this thing is we reach out to a lot of other YouTubers and a lot of people who have just moved over to Portugal and relocated. So Dan and Michelle have a channel called Honeymoon Always, and they've just moved over from Texas. Well, not just, probably about 6 months ago actually. They moved over from Texas to Lisbon and they were doing a tour of the country and they came down to the Algarve. So I hopped over to Olhão to go and have a chat with them. We had coffee and stuff. It was really cool. Walked around and it's really interesting to find out what they experienced. And I think it's interesting because I think it might be something that you will experience and are looking forward to experience if you are relocating over to Portugal. So we talk a little bit about the food, we talk about how to integrate with the community, and we talk about a whole bunch of stuff that I think is really important. And so there was one thing that was rather disturbing about Olhão, but let's talk about that a little bit later. All right. So anyway, here's Dan and Michelle.
I'll just slouch.
I'm going to have to snuggle up to you, Dan.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Guys, thanks so much for coming. Well, it's nice to meet you. And I just wanted to ask you a few questions about how you came to Portugal, because you're the classic digital nomad couple, if you don't mind me saying so. So when you came, how long ago were you? Yeah?
June, so a couple months?
Couple months.
2.5 months.
So how did it feel when you got off the airplane and arrived in Portugal? What smells and sights?
So for our experiences were a little bit different. Dan slept on the way over because he was very relieved about having completed all the work and getting here. I was panicked and I did not sleep. So for me, landing was not ideal. The flowers were really beautiful. I remember that, but everything else, we call it nighttime brain. Like I was just like panicked, like what did we do? Like what is this? And we did have a faster journey than many people. A lot of people say I'm going to try to move there in 5 or 7 years. We made the decision and we're here in about 3 months. So
because I remember seeing their video, I jumped into saw this video. I thought, these guys are going to be like a year before they come here. And they were saying, we're going to leave. Where was it? Austin, Texas.
Austin, yeah. Hotel room in Vancouver, Washington, because as of about 30 days ago, we sold our house, sold all of our things, and we're moving to Portugal.
And then the next time I actually looked on the Instagram, they're already here. So I was like, wow, let's get in touch.
Yeah. So no, for me it was like I slept on the plane, as she said. So I arrived still a little like out of sorts, but I was okay. But you arrived exhausted. Yeah. And so we arrived and we didn't really know where we were going to end up, and there's a lot of uncertainty. So we had done a ton of research to feel like we'd made the right decision, but like we were disoriented and kind of like anxious to feel settled, and that wasn't going to come for a little while.
Where did you go your first night? Were you booked into an Airbnb or something?
Yes, we stayed in Estrela in Lisbon.
Okay.
And had just a bed and breakfast there, which was a good place to land. Pretty quiet. It was a good place to...
You woke up the next morning and had pastel de nata and café con leite.
Yeah, and there's some really good restaurants in that area, so that was good, because then we ate some food and it was like, all right, they have good food here. Like, checking that box.
That's true. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Do they have good food here? Because I think I saw a video whether you have good food or bad food in Portugal.
So in general, by and large, yes, amazing food. I think that video was specific to Portuguese food, which it took us a while to get to even like understand what to try before we were trying it. And so we went on a food tour and found some things we really loved. So ultimately, food in Portugal, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, cool. And there's a lot of great ingredients here. Like,
the produce is really great.
Fresh ingredients.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think this is a video.
All on its own.
What do you mean?
I don't know how to make this whole video, but like the fact that we saw turds floating in the water. Like there's...
But what if it's just a chocolate bar?
It could be. Well, it doesn't smell like...
Because it's like a nice enough town, but there's literal poop, like floating in the water.
Oh, I need a haircut. If you go a little bit further on, there's a square on the right hand side, I think.
Okay.
Or even just where that blue.
That's real cute.
Yeah. shadows.
Over here?
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, turn around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so,
I'm gonna maybe drop this. I don't know how attractive this is.
okay. Do you want to get a bit closer together?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, romantic. Okay, so obviously you guys are very respectful of life here in Portugal, but it's very, very different to what you're used to in the States, right?
Yeah.
So what are your pet peeves so far?
Well, one reason we moved here was because it has a more laid-back environment, but on the other side of that, it still takes some getting used to. So, for example, at restaurants, in the United States, everything is very fast. They're always really on top of service, whereas here, it's just a lot more laid back. So, for example, yesterday at breakfast, the waiter just totally forgot one of the things that we ordered and came over, asked if we needed anything else. I said, oh yeah, we're still waiting on the pancakes. And he looked at us like, oh, okay, and just kind of went back. So it took about, 45 minutes to get something we ordered. Not a big deal, and it's something we're trying to get used to, but that's a huge difference. It's just everything's a lot more laid back.
I think. Oh, are you still filming?
Yeah.
Okay, so I saw you put your finger up. I think along with that is there's just not as much of a digital culture here. It's something like 19% of people in Portugal don't use the internet. So that's much higher than the rest of the world and definitely much higher than the United States, where especially during COVID times, people like restaurants became very digital first. So what that means for us is like, not only are many places not even listed on Google for you to find, but if there are reviews, they're kind of all over the place. So I'll see things like, best meal of my life, 2 stars. And so like, you just can't ever really know. Or like, I was looking for a salon and it had really good reviews and then one really bad review that had like very detailed grievances, things that would be really hard to deal with. And the owner came back and said, yeah, we're really busy. And that was their kind of response online, which is so different than in the US, where they would be mostly trying to amend the situation and make sure that their reputation was maintained online. So it just makes it hard to access things or know when something's going to be open. And there's a variety of reasons. Like it's August right now, so you could show up to a restaurant that says it's open online and you show up and it's closed, and it could be it's a Monday, it's August where people are taking a trip, or like it's COVID. And so it could be any number of things, and it's just teaching us more to be much more go with the flow and more relaxed. So it's not like a problem, it's just something to get used to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely different here. But yeah, you're right. It is something that's part of life here, and a lot of people struggle with these things. And if you can't get over those, you just got to leave.
Yeah.
Because you've got to get through that.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's too much for some people.
I think if you can't get used to it, you're not going to be happy.
Yeah.
So I worry for people for whom that's a very important thing, especially if you're the type to, like if you're coming for an exploratory trip and there are certain things you have to do or must do, like there's going to be certain museums or things that are just not open, and that's not going to be made clear necessarily online. And if that's going to be really difficult, I don't know that that's going to work for you.
So guys, I know life is life and it has its ups and downs everywhere. How do you think people can negate the ups and downs, the downs, when you're an expat in a foreign country?
Yeah. So I think the downs mostly is like the lack of community. You're leaving your home where you have friends and family, and you get to this strange place, and you don't know anyone. So we're still in the middle of this. We're not going to pretend that like we've got it all figured out. But some things that are helping are like joining Facebook groups, becoming an active member there. So for example, I'm in one for tennis in Lisbon. So I've been able to play tennis with a couple people. Michelle's in one for girls in Lisbon. I just joined a meetup for like digital nomads. So I'm going to something about SEO, even though like I know a lot about SEO.
Humble brag.
All right. Anyway, I'm going to that meetup next week. I joined the swimming club in the neighborhood. So things like that, just really putting yourself in places that are going to help you meet other people.
Yeah. I think knowing what your resources are, like for me, something that was hard is my go-to when I was having a hard day is I would like take a bath, go shopping, like get a facial. Like these are the things that I would do to like pamper myself. I was having a really hard time, and I didn't know how to find those things while I was here. And I think those things were available to me. I just wasn't sure how to navigate all of it. And so making connections with other people has really helped me to understand, okay, who's giving me, like, what are other people doing? Because there's people like me. And I think we talk about this a little bit, like my view based off of who's on the internet is that a lot of people who are expats are like super adventurous, and like expat life is like easy. That's honestly, I got the sense there's people who just love to move to new places. And as much as I'm 100% in on this move, I'm not that like easygoing type of person necessarily. And so connecting with other people who have similar expectations as me or similar life preferences as me has been really helpful because I'm not alone. You're not the only person who's ever done this or felt this. So connecting with other people can really help make you feel less alone.
Yeah. And I'd also say that being easy on yourself, just so that way you're not, when things don't go perfect, just like relax, understand that things are going to go wrong, and you can adjust every day a little bit more.
And have a glass of wine.
Sure, yeah.
Perfect. What a nice set. So I wanted to ask you another question. Like I often talk about the honeymoon period, and it's quite funny because yours is called Honeymoon Always. So there's this honeymoon period where everybody comes along and everything's wonderful and the smells are amazing and it's fantastic. And then they realize that you can't do the things that you used to do at home, and then that's when the hassles set in. And then if you get through that, then you're hunky-dory. Where are you guys on that path?
I think we
on that path, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think we had much of a honeymoon period because of just all the stress that went into coming here. So we finally got here, relaxed for maybe a day. And then we just knew we had so much to do to get acclimated. So yeah, I think we never really had too much of a honeymoon period.
And I think we got into an apartment that we were really excited about and have already started realizing that I don't think this is a long-term situation for us, and we're kind of falling in love with the Algarve, honestly. And so we're reevaluating this week we've been reevaluating kind of what our plans are. So yeah, I don't know that
have you got to the stage where you want to try and do something which is normal for you back home and you've struggled to do it here, like I don't know, apply for a telephone or do something like that? You know what I mean?
That happened immediately.
Okay.
It happened immediately to try to find the resources we were looking for. And we're just such digital people that the digital discrepancy here, the difference here, that hit us pretty hard pretty quickly. And finding, like, I had some kind of like medical needs when we first got here, nothing serious, but just like trying to find it online or trying to figure out where to go for that or trying to source stuff for a new apartment. Like everything was harder than I thought that it would be, because my assumption was like, oh, you can just order it online, because in the US you literally can order anything from anywhere. It's probably free shipping, it's probably going to come to you in 2 days, and that's just not how it is here. So that hit us pretty hard early on.
Yeah, so I feel like we skimmed right past the honeymoon period of being an expat, and really we've just been trying to make this more sustainable, and we've been focusing on the long term. So we're hoping to get to that quicker than really focusing on the honeymoon period.
Yeah, we talk a lot about why we came, why we did this. Like, we jumped pretty quickly, but we have a laser focus on what we're looking for out of life, and I think we're just keeping an eye on the prize. So when things are hard, we're just reminding ourselves, like, there are so many things that are already meeting those expectations or exceeding those expectations. So for us, keeping that in mind has been really helpful, and we're loving it. So we'll
there's some flies there.
There's flies.
There's flies. It's coming on September when it gets really busy with flies.
Oh, good. Looking forward to it.
Então, let's meet our neighbor here. So.
Okay.
Olá, bom dia.
Bom dia.
Tudo bem?
Tudo bem.
Well, here, they do not care.
Cool. So it's been really nice to meet you guys, and thanks so much for coming on. It's been fun walking around Olhão this morning, and I'm really getting to know you guys and Olhão a little bit better with all its funky smells and. So yeah, I just want to say thank you, and it's been amazing. So what are your plans next? I mean, you're making it. Your channel is all about Portugal, right?
Yeah. For now, it's about us moving to Portugal, and it will continue to include a lot of Portugal content. But we are also, our business is couples travel, romantic travel, adventure travel. So we're going to continue to do that as we explore Europe now that we live so much closer. Well, we're living in Europe, and we're also going to be going to Africa and having other adventures. So we're going to be talking a lot about that as well. So we're excited.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to get over to their channel and follow it, because I find it really engaging, and I just love your story. It's really awesome. So.
Thank you.
So go check out Honeymoon Always channel, and you'll get a double dose of Nick this week, because they've got a video there all about the Algarve. So head on over to Honeymoon Always, and I'll see you next week. AlgarveAddicts.com